Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. In this video, I have another new Vancouver feature for you, and it has to do with administering ServiceNow, and it's the application manager. You may recognize my screenshot on my Friday episodes of ServiceNow store highlights. I take a picture of that menu and how to get there, and we're going to cover it in detail in this video. Now, I'll tell you, I've upgraded one instance and I've set up from scratch 3 Vancouver instances, so my PDI and 2 for work that we do demos out of. So I have been in and out of this new feature quite a bit, and I can tell you exactly what I like and love about it. This is the feature right here. It's called App Manager. The page name is App Manager Release Notes, and there's basically 2 new features that I pulled on my crawl. It's the app categories and the detailed product page, and I think that's underselling it. This is what the new release notes look like if you click on that, and this is for Vancouver. Again, there are those 2 UI changes, but really it's been completely overhauled and redesigned, and we're going to check it out in this video. So let's go ahead and close out my VTB board there, and we'll hop over to System Applications, All Available Applications, and then All. I go here like 10,000 times per day. That's an exaggeration, but a lot. And this is what it looks like. It is significantly faster than it used to be. No longer waiting and waiting and waiting. And I think I'll point out the first feature that I'm in love with is that we get to choose when to do a store sync. So before, when you came here, you may have not have noticed, but it was refreshing and grabbing everything every time you loaded that page. Every time you upgraded a plugin or an application that came back to that page, it would sit there and refresh. And now we only have to refresh when it wants to, like when you're not even in here, it does some refreshing. I've noticed that I'll come in here and the date and time has changed. Or I can come in here and manually click this and send it out to go grab anything new. And that's helpful because maybe I want to come in here and check for updates, which brings us to our second new feature I wanted to show you is these different categories that are showing now, where I can flip between what's available to me in my instance, what updates are available, and what I actually have installed. Very helpful because most of the time, and I'd love you to leave me a comment down below and tell me what you're doing, most of the time I'm headed right here to updates because, man, now that everything's on this application model, keeping your instance up to date is quite the chore. So I'm really glad for that feature. Before I scroll too far down, I don't want to skip the search box. The search box is obviously awesome, right? I can search for whatever I want, but you all know how search works, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. And then one more thing before we leave is this switch to Classic Application Manager. I don't know why on earth you would want to do this, but you can if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd stay right here. I have not needed to leave this. Again, I've set up 4 instances in Vancouver and have not had to leave this page. The other really nice thing is next to that feature here at the top is the activity log. Now, I mentioned I've set up several instances, and that means sometimes I'm moving between instances from this one to this one, and I might be like, oh crap, what did I do? What did I already set up? What did I upgrade? What did I install? Now there's a running activity log where we can see all the things that were recently added, what's in progress, what's been completed. There you can see some of the stuff I've actually completed. And I love this. I wish I knew, and I'm going to find out how I can get to this outside of this feature, because I might want to put this on a dashboard or something, so there could be that in the future. I'm going to try to find where this actual activity log is, because I could find this helpful for just coming in and seeing what I've done recently. But okay, let's stop dragging out and let's go take a look at some other cool stuff in this new application or this new app manager. I have not used the filters. Now, maybe one day, but I mean, I've installed hundreds of apps now, plugins, and I haven't needed this at all, period. If it's between the search and clicking updates or installed, I found what I need. If you scroll down, there's 2 sections here. We've got the store applications on top and the family plugins down below. If you're not familiar with what the difference is, and ServiceNow products, I'll explain that here in a second. If you're not familiar with the difference between apps and plugins basically they're there as part of the platform, and apps are coming from the ServiceNow store. That's why they call it store applications. And ServiceNow over the past couple years has made this big shift into moving the stuff that was in the family into the store applications. It allows them to release more frequently, patch things more frequently, which means I'm coming in here more frequently and coming here more often. That's why this is so important to me and probably important to you. This last one down here, ServiceNow products, this is kind of like a bundled stuff together together. Like you can see their accounts payable operations probably has, or I'll just click on it, you can see, has a bunch of applications in it. So we got processing, all that stuff there. And I'm actually not licensed for this, but you can see that I can install a bunch using that plugin. Again, that one I don't use much either. Usually I'm coming here for one or two things, or I'm coming in here to see what updates need to be done. And this gets to where I want to stop, and where I want to show you is the coolest thing is not only do I get visibility into what updates are available and very clear visibility into, hey, there's an update available and this is the installed version. If I click on this, and this is the game changer I think for this space, I get actual information that I don't have to leave the app manager and go to the store to look at documentation. So let's scroll down. We've got a summary at the top. Now I'm seeing the delta between this version and the last version. I can go ahead and get started with my update. There is some cool stuff there. And of course I can repair, uninstall, or edit in Studio. Edit in Studio really applies to an application you're allowed to edit. I seriously doubt I'm able to edit the goal framework. And then down below I can see the version information. So I don't need to leave App Manager anymore. I can see all of the information, the key features, release notes, system requirements, and the roles that get installed with this app. And if that's not cool enough, I can go look at the previous version, 4.2.0, and see what else all there. Can I? Actually, I thought I could see the difference. Let's click on that. Yeah, it's changing. So there's 4.2.0 and the release notes, and there's 4.2.1 and the release notes. So I think that's incredibly helpful. If we go to install details, I can look at the installation log, the install files. You used to be able to do this from App Manager, but it would jump you out into a different page where you'd have to go see all this stuff. So it's bringing that into the workspace here. Let's take a look at the update details. This might look familiar if you're an admin and you've done actual commits or update sets and bringing them into between instances. Now we can see changes applied, changes skipped, and upgrade details. So really getting into the nitty gritty of, okay, for this particular update, we've got an app record, a fixed script, we've got some choices being changed, some system properties, a report, and there's 86 of these. So this is really game changing in understanding what an update is and what you need to do. Last piece, I know I said I was almost done, is actually doing the update. Of course, you can install now, install later, pick the version you want to install, and once you click this button, it will start running, and then you can kind of leave and go do something else, and it'll continue to run in the background. So might be one of my favorite new features in Vancouver is the redesigned application manager, because it's world and light years ahead of where it was before, and a much needed refresh for this particular part of the platform. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in updating and installing apps easier than you were able to before in ServiceNow. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.